I'm Dr. Arini Method, and I'd like to introduce to you the Arini Method of Child Behaviour Management. It empowers parents and educators to help children reflect on their behaviour, assisting them to make wiser choices as well as find solutions to ethical problems. As principal of an international secondary school with students from over 35 different cultures, I saw a lot of the teachers' time spent dealing with behaviour management problems. Students knew what was the appropriate behaviour, but continued to misbehave. Traditional behaviour management approaches seem to be ineffective to change behaviour without causing alienation. Many parents were also having difficulties managing their children's behaviour. That's why they sent them to the school. The introduction of an intentional character education program went a long way to address this problem. What was developed? A school-based research team studied best practice in character education from around the world. The result was the introduction of a world citizenship program that identified criteria for personal, interpersonal and societal capabilities. Within 1 year of its introduction, there was a radical shift to positive student behaviour and improved academic results. There was an amazing 64% of students who were placed on the British Columbian Honours Roll, and the academic standing of the school in the state listings went up by 8 rankings. How was it trialled and tested and proved? In order to understand why the character education program implemented in Canada had proved so successful, I decided to undertake doctoral studies to research and examine the key factors that helped a person to act on their moral judgment and look at the implications for education. These findings, together with practical experience, were simplified into 3 critical steps for the caregiver to apply in their day-to-day interactions with children. 6 sequential steps were identified as important for the child to learn in order for children to know how to make wiser choices and act morally. The first stage of learning for children is based on icons or pictures, so we developed cartoon characters to represent each of the 6 steps. I would think this is why children love their cartoon shows. As General Manager of Sun Kids in Australia, I introduced the method initially with 2 centres. First, the staff were trained and then mentored while applying the approach with children. Staff then designed and trialled a simple user's guide. Finally, it was implemented in the remaining 15 centres, where the calming benefits were seen in peaceful classrooms with well-behaved children engaged in learning. Finally, a set of stories about the 6 steps centred on the 6 superheroes was developed. The stories were designed to work on 2 levels. First, to educate the parents in the sequence of steps, and second, to train the children in the sequence of steps. The stories were tested with parents and young children to ensure the stories held the children's interest. Parents have been able to use the characters to remind the children of the steps they can take to solve a day-to-day problem they face. The Arini Method of Child Behaviour Management is based on the integration of research findings from a number of different studies. Dr. Marvin Berkowitz and al. In Best Practices in Character and Moral Education, the Quality Teacher Education movement, which identified the teacher's respect for students as central to their success. Paul Churchland's work on the connectionist theory of moral learning, Eric Jensen's work on brain-compatible learning, and my own doctoral research findings, which identified factors such as understanding the role of reflection on feeling states and understanding the consequences of one's actions on others. A number of other researchers have identified the critical importance of the first 6 years of life in laying a strong foundation for developing moral capacity. Let's look at the long-term benefits of the practice of the Arini Method. For parents, you'll be pleased to know you enjoy parenting more. It lays a strong foundation for building self-esteem, self-confidence and responsibility in your child. It develops emotionally and socially well-adjusted children and empowers parents to help their children creatively solve and cope with problems they might face outside the home. It helps to raise children who are reflective about their behaviour and can act ethically. For educators, you'll be pleased to know it helps to create emotionally safe learning environments and peaceful classrooms, reduction in the exhibition of risky and bullying behaviours. It also provides a well-researched practical tool to help young children make wiser choices and ultimately live more fulfilling lives. Overall, it contributes to improved academic results. The Arini Method recognises that your child loves you and certainly loves their teacher, and they don't want to disappoint you. Remember, joy is the prime emotion that motivates us to act, and we tend to move away from what we think will be sorrowful.